no camera, just audio. So we can take this. Okay, so you and okay. So if you can come push your chair down on this side. Sit on the edges, but don't jam your don't jam your. I'll take it back a little bit. I put it there and it's on the power cord. So we're both in your computer.
Let me take that back now. Better shot. You want it moved? Let me just finish setting up this email and then
No, you can keep doing that while I do my intro. So this can come here. You can put the mic over here. That way you can have freedom movement. And then, because when you're talking to me now, you're talking to that.
Okay.
So then when you're on your computer, you're fine.
Okay.
And then when you start engaging, then the mic is in the right spot.
Okay. Did you want to bring up there was an image up there earlier, whatever. Where did it go?
Let me go to YouTube. Oh, I didn't get it. Okay, let me turn it off. Okay, now I can do this. 5. Okay, so this is the channel. Okay, fine. Okay. That should be fine. Now I have to go back and cut out all of that. So I get too much of your computer in there. So what I'm gonna do is no. I'm gonna go like this.
Okay.
You know what I'll do? I'll give you a sticker for your Dell promotion. So this just says the station on the back. Perfect. And what I'll do is I'll put this on your mic. Yes, of course, everybody knows it. Okay. Messy hair. We just need it for the record. talking about how time flies. We're March 1st. Can you believe
Already.
it? It's like we just started 2026. We've had abductions. No, what was the one down in Venezuela?
Yes, an invasion.
We've had invasions, we've had wars, we've had the weekend war,
Right.
and some people who are gone for the weekend, when they wake up on Monday, there would have been a World War III would have
Almost.
happened. Well, actually, it did.
It did.
World War III happened between Friday night and Sunday night
and Saturday morning.
And Saturday morning, and they
all from Mar-a-Lago.
Oh well, we don't even. No, President Trump was in Texas.
No, he was in Mar-a-Lago.
He was in Mar-a-Lago, but he also went to Texas the morning after the first strikes. And so we had World War III. We had Whataburger.
Yeah.
He bought like burgers for everybody in Texas. Big ass burgers. But this has been a whirlwind in 2026. And we have some exciting things to talk about. But it's just amazing what can be done when people,
Well, notwithstanding the world falling apart, we still got to live.
We still got to live. And it's almost like time itself has been condensed. And so today, I'd like to welcome everybody to The Beat, the Smart Beat with Charlene and my guest, my good friend, longtime friend, Abdullah. And your organization is ADULLAM.
ADULLAM, Justice Project.
We're going to talk about that, but let's get in some news. So if you're watching on YouTube, all the social media channels, this is Charlene with the Smart Beat. If you're listening on the radio, whichever station you're listening to, keep driving if you're behind the wheel.
Be safe.
But when you listen to the show, you got to get out your pen and your paper. But if you're behind the wheel, pull out your mental paper and your mental pen, because we got some things to drop. If you're in Jamaica, Turks and Caicos Islands, the Bahamas, all the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago's in the house. Trinidad and Tobago's in the house.
Okay, all my Trini friends. Now, my St. Lucia, my girlfriend from St. Lucia, I know you're listening. And who else? Okay, so we're in Salt Lake City, Utah. Just to be sure, we're broadcasting live
from Salt Lake City,
Utah.
The crossroads of the West.
The crossroads of the West, where literally that's where the railroad
actually
met the East and the West here in Salt Lake City, up in the mountain. That was what, 18 something?
It's 18
or 19? Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
So this year, 2026, United States is celebrating 250 years. Utah was 1847.
1847.
And then their celebration is in July. But if you're listening in Dallas, all my Dallas, Houston, Texas, and all over Dallas area, Miami.
Oh, we've got a member in Houston. Houston is in the house.
Houston in the house. Houston is in the house. It's member of your ADULLAM Justice Project.
Yeah, she's got a restaurant, Mindy Bar and Grill in Houston.
Stop
by.
So when we go to Houston, we gotta hit up Mindy. And then you have family in
Atlanta, Georgia, as well as in Lake Hartwell, straddles the border of Georgia and South Carolina. But we've got folks in Atlanta.
We got folks everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what? If all the Caribbean people returned to their islands would sink.
Yeah.
Because there's
so many people outside. Yes. There are more people in the diaspora than on the islands.
Exactly. And the good thing with the internet now, you can listen to radio anywhere. But the best way to treat radio is in your car, cruising on the highway. If you're a truck driver, I know some truck drivers, they pick up stations, and so even the same signals will switch over to different
programming
as they
travel. But so I get to shout out all the truck drivers, and of course Bitcoin Ben was a longtime truck driver, and now he's doing Bitcoin. He's been here in Salt Lake City as the guest speaker at the Utah Bitcoin Conference down at UVU, the same UVU where Charlie Kirk was taken out.
Well, it puts Utah on the map again,
and then we're gonna have the Winter Olympics again
coming up.
Coming up again. Utah never failed to surprise or show up. And so down in the Turks and Caicos Islands, where we have one of our sister stations, The Beat, and everybody's listening. They're in Turks and Caicos. My best friend, Captain Robo, has the hookup for you guys. So if you want to get a private cruise on a beautiful Sea Ray, it's a little bit older, 2002, so it's got the old charm.
But it's got the classic.
The classic look. The veneer wood and the leather, white leather, like all this new stuff now is all black and gray, like no character. Well, if you want to get out on this turquoise, pristine, glass finish water of the Caribbean, you got to contact Caicos Lifestyle. That's our top sponsor. And you can book half day, full day. And if you have a boat in Florida, you want to take it down to the Caribbean, do not get anybody else. If you're not getting Captain Robo, he will charter your boat from. He will take your boat for you, like you. I know you've got your own private yacht.
The guy who said that just left Florida for Cuba, that should have taken him. They'd have been safer.
They would have been safer. You should have called Robo. They got picked up by the Coast Guard really fast.
Yes.
But if you want a legitimate, safe captain with no hassle to take your boat anywhere around the Caribbean, Captain Robo, he told me he brought for Beaches Resort, they have boats and they have yachts. And he brought their boats from Jamaica to the Turks and Caicos. And he's brought several boats from Florida for private, rich people, millionaires, the people who can move a boat from Florida to down there. You call Captain Robo. But here's the number. 646-772-0771. I normally have it written down on a paper in front of me, so I'm looking at the desk and there's no paper.
But normally you've got a U.S. number. So
that is a U.S. number.
That's a U.S. number.
So what I did is, because I want to get a little bit of commission off of people booking, I set up a U.S. number. So call this U.S. number, 646-772-0771. It's on the website too. Go to this website and you can see all the sponsors of the Smart Beat at 885thebeat.com. That's 885thebeat.com. This is Charlene live on the radio with the Smart Beat, where we're going to get into AI. We're going to get into Bitcoin. Oh my goodness. I'm even afraid to look at my Bitcoin chart, but I've got to, for your sakes, all my listeners. So we're in back above 64. We were down to 64,000 Bitcoin, US dollar for one Bitcoin. So people think, oh, Bitcoin is falling. Listen, it takes $66,200 US dollar for one Bitcoin. Most people, you don't have to buy one. You can buy as little as $10, $100. You can save that way. But Bitcoin went all the way up to 126. So we're looking at a 50% drop over the last year. Now, when it went up to 126, guess what Charlene did?
So
I saw, people were like, never sell your Bitcoin. Come on, guys. Things go up and down. Okay, people ask me for investment advice all the time because I'm talking about investments, crypto, financial suggestion.
Because, this show is just for entertainment. Radio is for entertainment.
Exactly.
Anything you hear on radio is definitely for entertainment. So if you want to bet on a horse and you hear me talk about it, remember, it's just for entertainment. You go lose your money in Vegas on my advice.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, Vegas is, you're going to lose already.
The house always wins.
The house wins. But in this case, when I had a little bit of Bitcoin and I had some money in my retirement account, and I said, you know what? This feels like a good moment to snag all of that. I combined it and I started buying some real estate. So I even called you, Oz, and told you, hey, come on in with me on this hotel thing that I'm trying to get into. Anyway, so back exactly 1 year ago, I dropped all of the funds that I had because Bitcoin had gone up in the 120s. I didn't even hit the highs. I got it close to in the early 100s, like 106, 110, somewhere around there. But I invested and bought some real estate in Texas. So, hey, my Dallas people, so that's what happened with me. So I don't feel so badly about, because I might have like $10 here, $10 there, like in wallets.
You got out before the dip.
Yeah, my main investment. So what I wanted to do was rent out the Airbnbs, get cash flow, and put that money buying back in Bitcoin. But I got stuck halfway. So I'll tell you the rest of that story later. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Charlene with the Smart Beat. So that's it on Bitcoin. Now, Tesla is the other thing that I've been encouraging people to look into if they want to get into some kind of a stock. Now, people think when they want to get into a stock market situation, they're going to buy the stock that's cheaper.
Right.
No. It's not the penny stocks. Oh, this stock is only $1. I'm going to spend 1,000 of it. That's the easiest way people lose money. Because what you want to look for, if you want to play in that gamble of the stock market, is stocks that move up and down.
Trending. Not
even trending, because there's some good stocks that people don't pay attention to because they're not branded, big brands. But in the case of Tesla, it is trending. It moves up and down, and it is a good brand. So whether or not it's a good way people can make, if you just for a second, put all the noise out of your head. If you're driving,
follow the money.
Just look at, if the way people make money in the stock market is not by just buying it and sitting on it for 80 years like Warren Buffett. Like Warren Buffett,
buy and hold.
That's a one person strategy.
Right.
It's not replicable for everybody, right? So a lot of this, look at Warren Buffett, he makes so much money, but his strategy only applies to maybe a dozen people. He has the ability to do that. He owns the power company. He owns Rocky Mountain Power here in Utah. He owns the power company in Idaho, Wyoming, and the gas company. So he has money coming in. He don't need to make money off of stocks. That's why he just leaves it there. But you want to play with a stock that has up and down, where you can go in, get out, go in. There's some guys who just trade one stock because that stock has the momentum to go up and down. So the days when people were encouraged, like your broker would tell you, diversify, buy a whole bunch of stocks, spread it, so you don't want your egg in one basket. Hey, sometimes you want your egg in one basket because the chicken can only sit on one basket at a time. So if you want your eggs to hatch, you're going to put those eggs where the chicken is sitting. Exactly. Anyways, good to be here with you on the Smart Beat. Dallas, where are we at? Anywhere in the world you're listening, thank you for tuning in. My screen went away. But the main thing is that you're listening and you're getting good value. I'm gonna take one more second to remind you, when you go down to the Turks and Caicos Islands, if Captain Robo's boat is booked, you can call the same number, 646-772-0771, to take a tour on the highway in the island. They have a blue bus. It's called Turks Tours. So if you can't get out on the water that day, you can take the tour bus. And then if you don't want to go on the, up and down the highway, it's a beautiful scene anyways. and you want to be actually in the water, there are a lot of other boats in the same marina with Captain Robo, and he can hook you up with one of those boats if his boat is booked. So, it's a rivalry, but they all throw each other a little bone,
Right.
a fish bone.
Right.
And if you're into fishing, like a lot of people do, outfitters, hunters, they want to go fishing. If fishing is your thing, they do fishing on cruise boats, but there are fishing boats, and they'll take you to where you're gonna get snapper. You can see the whole marine life, and you can snag some good reels out there. But call 646-772-0771 if you want to have fun in the Caribbean. And sometimes I'm down there, but sometimes I'm here in Salt Lake City. Sometimes I'm in Dallas. But if you want to hook up with me, call the same number, 646-772-0771. Now, what we're doing in Salt Lake with ADULLAM Justice Project, I wanted to talk about that, and let me take a moment of breath.
Well, in 2013, a small group of citizens wanted to find out what can we do to actually ensure our freedom in this country. And so we invited an attorney, and we met in the old Supreme Court chambers at the Capitol. And that led to the formation of ADULLAM Justice Project. And so since 2013, we've been formalized as a project that's mainly concerned with about restorative justice, which is, people say, well, what is that? Well, it's how we stay free.
Well, if you've been cuffed and you need to call someone,
yes,
you call ADULLAM.
Exactly. We're concerned about keeping people free, and that deals with the court system. If a person is charged, how do you make sure that you don't go to jail? And if you're in jail, get you out quickly, and when you get out, help you to stay out.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's something that so many of us face in this country, because who doesn't know somebody who has someone that they know, a relative or themselves, that have been touched by the system that is all about incarceration?
Yeah, it's a brutal, punitive system. I mean, if you don't pay your electric bill, you don't pay your water bill, if you don't register your vehicle, if you don't buy insurance, some of these crimes are invented as a funding scheme.
Well, in the U.S. Constitution, they said they abolished slavery, except for if you're a felon. They allow you to be enslaved. There's that provision. You can enslave them. So what do? You give them a felony, and then they remain enslaved.
So ADULLAM, tell me about you. We discussed your 3 pillars earlier. Tell our viewers or listeners. By the way, I got to remind people, this is Abdullah
Balfour.
Abdullah Balfour.
Here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Originally from Trinidad, came to Utah in 1981, graduated from the University of Utah, went back to Trinidad.
No. So I'm a BYU grad. I wear the blue.
There's a rivalry.
And he went to the school where the Gentiles go.
Exactly.
University of Utah, right, which is different from Utah Valley University.
Yes.
So there are 3. So Utah Valley University is green. That's their jersey. BYU, Brigham Young University, the Mormon University where I graduated from, we're blue, Cougars.
And the University of Utah is red.
I would not even say the word.
Well, I tell you what, they said that the real Mormon University is the University of Utah because it predates BYU.
And guess who started it? It was started by Brigham Young.
Right? So he's got 2 universities.
He's got one foot in the heaven and one foot in hell.
And that is why there's such a, they call it split families here in Utah when it comes to football or basketball. You have some family members rooting for BYU and others are rooting for the University of Utah. But many of them say we do both.
And when they're playing against another team, they all root.
Exactly.
Everybody roots for each other. It makes it easy.
Yeah.
But so you have been a staple per se in Utah for decades.
Yes, so I understand the culture. I'd like to say that they trained me well when I came here. I came here invited to come to Utah. And I'd say I was well set up. Well, I mean, after I graduated 4 years later, I went back to Trinidad. I worked for the government, the Ministry of Information, in propaganda. My biggest claim to fame is having interviewed Fidel Castro, which incidentally, the event that Marco Rubio just came back from, the CARICOM event that just
took place. Secretary, U.S. What is it? Secretary of State.
Yes,
Marco Rubio. The guy with 5-6 jobs. He's like a Jamaican, right?
Exactly.
This guy. Anything you want done, give it to Marco.
Now he wants to go back and resettle Cuba. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah. So I know there's a lot of trouble in Cuba. We'll talk about that because you can actually see Cuba from Jamaica.
Exactly. Yes.
And a lot of Cubans have, fled to Jamaica. So anyways, you guys we're talking on the radio, the Smart Beat with Charlene and Abdullah. Abdullah was born and raised in Trinidad and Tobago. I was raised in Jamaica. We both ended up in Utah. He's older than me, just so you know, if you can see. But, we come from a similar era where respect, justice, believing in the judicial system, that you could petition the courts for grievances and for your innocence.
Right.
But we're living in a time where it's almost as if the courts are the one wielding the chains of slavery and putting those chains literally around the necks of people.
So in the United States, they say there are 3 branches of the government, but the one that affects the people most adversely is the judicial system.
The courts.
Yeah.
Everybody is talking about Trump, or Congress, or the congressman.
The executive or the legislative, but it's the courts.
It's the judiciary system because that is the local. That is the closest to the people. I mean, the president is at Mar-a-Lago.
Well, and that's part of the fiction, because people are encouraged to start thinking about Washington. How many people have been to Washington?
It's too small.
But people don't go to their local city council meeting. They don't go to the meeting where the police officer stops you for traffic. Well, that's not a national thing. That's a local thing.
That's a local thing. So we need to get back local. So what ADULLAM is doing, you talk about that first pillar, restorative justice.
Then the next pillar is economics. You gotta have more than one source of good and safe ways to make money, because one of the problems that people have if they're not well educated, and I don't mean like going to school, they fall to some kind of illegal form of economics, and that's get them locked up.
Well, and then even if you're not deliberately going into an illegal, everything can be illegal. That the government or the city, like if you go out and set up a lemonade stand in Jamaica selling sky juice, nobody's going to bother you. At least when I was growing up there, maybe now. But in America, in Salt Lake City, if you go up and set up a lemonade stand or a suck stand or a sky juice stand, here comes you doing something illegal.
Right.
You didn't get a license. You didn't go through this.
It's all about paying the piper.
It's all about, so even in the definition of the words legal versus illegal, permitted versus unpermitted, essential workers versus non-essential workers. I mean, you're training your job, but if they could see you're non-essential and you decide, I'm going to work anyways, now you're broken the law.
Absolutely.
So these judicial systems just have those chains. Besides the handcuffs and the shackles, they chain us down with rules and regulations. And most people don't understand how to break those chains.
Now, right across this country, every legislature is meeting. The one here in Utah has about 5 days or so left for the 45 days. And in that period, so many new laws are enacted. People who understand this says that the government cannot grant freedoms they can only take it away.
Well, they're not there to protect our freedoms. They're there to actually ensnare us with an overload. If they overload us with all the ways you could break the law, right? So they're making, like, every year thousands of new laws. Like, we go back to, as a Christian upbringing, the 10 Commandments. Allow people to live simply and freely. So ADULLAM Justice is trying to stand up with people who have been ensnared in this.
Or even more importantly, to prevent them from being ensnared,
Right.
which is probably the best position to be in. If you understand those pitfalls, you stay away from them. But like you explained, it's so easy. It's so easy to fall into.
But guess what? This year they're coming out with 1,000 other ones. So how do we keep up? Anyways, before you get into the economics, which I have a great product to share with you, a great program. This is Charlene, live on the radio, 88.5 FM in the Turks and Caicos Islands. We have 99.5, so many stations, but it's the smart beat, and we bring guests on, we talk about things, but the economics is where I think people can actually experience the most freedom. So
without a proper economic foundation, all else fails. You must have that base, because in America, at least, and I would say this is probably across the world, you get the type of justice you could afford. If you have no money, all bets are off. And we see all the time that people who have money may be charged with the very same thing that someone else without money, the outcome is very different. So
justice is not blind.
Exactly. Well, we call it jobstice, because what happens is you have all of these people with a job to protect, whether it's the judge, the prosecutor, the lawyers, regardless,
the police, the sheriff.
They're all protecting their jobs, and so people become a means of job security
and filling their calendars.
Exactly.
So once people are not in jail, they need to make money. And one of the things is, just if you can't earn enough money from your job to secure, a lot of people have this entrepreneurial spirit, or they have to find some other means. And so how does ADULLAM Justice Project pave the way for people to become economic resilient?
So as you say, the old school is not to try to find that good job that is more and more elusive. There was a day when somebody straight out of high school could get a job on the loading dock, and over a 30-year period, they make it to the boardroom. Those days are gone. As a matter of fact, I was hearing recently that the young generation today would have probably about 6 or 7, maybe even 10 different career paths in their work life. So people, all of us are blessed with talents. We've got to turn that into income streams, whatever your passion is. So entrepreneurship is that base. People have to find out what they're good at, what talents they have, that they can turn that into an economic engine. And we've seen people doing the strangest kinds of things that maybe nobody else would think about.
Innovation.
Innovation.
That's the third area that you can help people to innovate these ideas they come up with.
Right. So with those threefold missions, I think that people then could self-actualize. They can then enjoy their lives, because A, they're free, B, they have economic capacity, and 3, now they can innovate. They can take that to other levels. So some of the things that we do, life is meant to be fun. It doesn't have to be always serious. So we're involved in the production of movies, film festivals. Those are the fun things that you can enjoy when you have the money to be able to enjoy those things.
Or build a nice show that someone would pay to see.
Absolutely.
So talking about film festival, We have a calendar item. So whether you're in the Caribbean or Texas or Miami, Salt Lake City, Utah had been the host of Sundance Film Festival. So for 30 years, this is where like people make movies or they want to pilot a TV show. They would come to Utah and they would show the pilot. And we had 2 weeks of Sundance Film Festival. But that brand is leaving Utah, and now we have a new brand that's picking up the slack.
Murray Area International Film Festival. It's an international film festival. It means that your films can come from anywhere in the world and we will screen them for you.
So if you are a filmmaker in Nigeria, Ghana, I know we have a lot of listeners from Africa to this show because they want to, they're fascinated with the island people. I'm fascinated with the island girls. That's what it is. I know these African men, they want to get a hold of the Jamaican women. That's kind of the catch there. But I'm off the market for you guys. So just not promoting myself here. But if you're listening in the radio, this is Charlene. If you're listening online, the Smart Beat, and our guest today is Abdullah with the ADULLAM Justice Project. So you have the International Film Festival. What date is that?
It's going to be March 25th to 29th.
So it's a 4-day
film festival. We'll be screening. So we were going to have a number of screenings of films that have been produced, some of them a long time ago. People have never seen them, or maybe they see them. It's time to rewatch it, introduce it to a new audience. But then we have films that have never been seen. Some of those films that are going to be juried because people are going to send their films. We'll pick the best of them. And then there'd be workshops on how to get into the movie business, how to fund your projects if that's something that you're looking at, who's not looking for money to do different things. And so there'd be audience participation, screenings, and workshops to all celebrate filmmaking on an international basis.
Creativity is going out of style with AI. I see all this great stuff being built by AI, even better than human production. But I think there's still this appetite for the human visual, like you want to watch a movie and be like, oh, I know that's fake. Well, you want to point out
we like to say AI is an ally. AI is an ally because, there's a lot of this feeling that people should fear AI. First of all, people invented AI. It didn't invent us.
Right.
But it's a tool, just like any other tool. It's a tool that we can use to facilitate
our own creativity.
Exactly.
Enhance to maximize your calling per se.
Well, if you think in terms of when the typewriter people came along, people thought that handwriting is gonna be dead. Now penmanship is coming back.
Penmanship is coming back. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This is Charlene live on the radio. If you're tuning in online, social media, YouTube, welcome to the show. We have a great amount of things to cover over this new season. So this is the March of 2026, and we talk about the International Film Festival. That's happening right here in Salt Lake City. That's the airport you would book to come. If you want to participate in that, call the same number. So you just have to know this one number. I'll feed you out to the sharks of the sponsors once you contact, or text is better. 646-772-0771 if you want to participate in the International Film Festival. If you've created a movie, a show, a sitcom, whatever it is in the arts, you want to connect with the International Film Festival. So we're not only going to have film, we have great works of art that can be on display as well, because people, while they're walking around, we'll have some workshops, we'll have some displays, some exhibits, and we'll have speeches. I'm going to be talking about my favorite topic, Bitcoin, AI, and technology. So I'm going to do probably do like a 1 or 2 hour workshop between March 25th to 29th, 2026. We are going to start rolling out tickets, but if you want to get early bird and radio rewards, I'm going to be giving away tickets on the air to our radio listeners or some discounts. But you'll have to text and give the keyword, and the keyword today would be International Film Festival. That's 3 words.
Mhm.
So for those who are smart, if you're driving, International Film Festival. Yeah, but I want to make sure that you got, the date is March 25 to March 29, 2026 in Salt Lake City. That's where people would fly in if they're coming in. And you have another major project on the 20th of March for locals.
Right, it's called, and people can participate in person or virtual in this one. This is entitled How to Raise Money to Fund Any Project, and with the use of AI. Once again, AI as a tool. And so people would learn, regardless whether it's a project for individual or for a business or a nonprofit. All those are different lanes in terms of how to attract funding. But this is another part of the economic resilience that we're talking about, so that if you have a project and you'd like to fund it, come and learn how to do that.
Yeah, and I'm going to add on a little bit to Abdullah. So he's talking about using AI to prepare the grants and write it so that, you know, you cover all your bases when you're applying for funding. But AI will also help you to find the right opportunities for funding. So there's so many places where people could access funding for their innovation, for their ideas. We're talking about grants, small loans, micro loans, big loans. So wherever would be fit for you to find funding to fund your projects and your idea and your small business idea, your entrepreneurship, the AI can help you find those funds.
Make those match.
And then you have an expert that helps people narrowly right.
Dr. Greg Mueller, who's one of our board members, he, over his career, has raised tens of millions of dollars in directing mainly to nonprofits, but that applies to any kind of funding, because we were talking earlier off the air, and this is not a debate, but you have for-profit organizations like here in the United States. When you go to register a business, you can check the box for-profit or non-profit, and a lot of people, well, most people, if they have a business idea, they want to make money. That's one of the reasons. So most businesses are for-profit entities. But like ADULLAM Justice Project, we are a non-profit entity. That doesn't preclude us from making money, because our tech teams is the driving force behind funding ourselves. So we found a mechanism to fund our work, and that's through having tech teams that go out and do technology work. And technology is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. More and more technology is required every year to keep businesses and homes and individuals alive. And so working through that sector has helped us to be able to generate funding. Well, that applies to individuals as well. So we have people who work as independent contractors in the tech sector that may go to corporations, some of the big ones, wholesale.
You know, hook up televisions in offices,
sound
hook up
system,
phone
cameras,
lines, yes.
Keep the internet working.
Yeah.
Those
troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting. Sometimes they call it break and fix. You know, if something gets broken, they want somebody to fix it right away. So that's
called ADULLAM. Okay, so this is really good, because people think that they only have to be in one lane or another, and when they get displaced out of the workforce, which all the tech companies are wiping out all their staff. Absolutely. From Amazon, Google. We just had the Square, the credit card company. But they were the small ones.
Exactly.
Boeing, all the big companies that have unnecessary employees, they're blaming. So before they didn't want to like let people go, and now they're just
That
by the tens of thousands wiping out their employee base and blaming it on AI. Yes, AI has a lot to do with it because now they can do a lot more with one machine that they could do with a whole department or a whole team, like all the, and you know what jobs are being threatened. People thought, okay, AI is going to wipe out all the manual jobs, but right now all the brain jobs, all the brain trust is being displaced. All the white collar jobs are the first. So the most at risk are doctors, because you believe me, a year from now, when you go in the hospital, you will want the AI to treat you, because you know you can. It's reliable. It's reliable, and your chances.
Well, even now with a lot of surgeries, it's not the doctors anymore. It's the machinery.
It's the machine already. The robotic arm.
Exactly.
You lay down in the dentist chair. You're waiting for the the dentist. Now you look up and it's just an arm. You know. But yeah, so if you're tuning in online, welcome to the show. We're talking about solutions. We're talking about things that benefit our lives, especially if you're somewhat marginalized or you don't have access to all of these solutions. That's why you tune into the Smart Beat with Charlene. Here's the number to dial. Text is best. That way I can text you love notes in the middle of the night. Here's the number, 646-772-0771. Broadcasting live on the radio from Salt Lake City, where we're back, baby. We are back. We're going to be championing the International Film Festival right here. And then this workshop on March 20, that's a paid workshop. So it's $90, but guess what? You're getting $900 worth of value for this workshop, because it's going to give you a shortcut to access funding for whatever innovation or entrepreneur ideas you have. And you're targeting small businesses,
individuals, and nonprofits.
So it's like a train the trainer we talked about. Exactly. If you are the person in charge in your nonprofit of finding grants, finding funding to sustain your organization, you've got to be March 20. Where are we going to be?
We're going to be at Indy Square. That's where our headquarters is, in Murray, Utah. And the address is 141 East, 5600 South in the city of Murray.
So Murray in the center, it's a beautiful layout. It's great. There's parking. Don't worry about that. There's going to be food.
Yes.
Always food. So if you don't want to learn anything about AR, forget about that. Just come eat. Food and good friends and networking. But with this workshop, nobody else is offering a workshop to help you use AI to fund your institution and your organizations. So I'm glad you were so innovative with coming up with a timely.
Because the way that funding is going now, the federal government is cutting more and more. So we've got to be ever more creative to stay afloat.
Yeah, there's still a lot of money out there.
Oh, no, there is. It's just hidden.
It's just hidden. There's people who want to, even private individuals. So besides the 20th and that access to learn how to find funding, we together are launching our new project. And it's to help you with something you already do. So a lot of Jamaicans, Trinidadians, island people, Africans, we do the partner or the susu or whatever plan where we all pool our money together and we take a weekly draw based off the pool. So in Jamaica, the partner plan became big when the bank that I worked at, Workers Bank in Linstead in St. Catherine, Jamaica, that was one of my first early jobs in banking. We decided to take this social construct of people pooling their money, and Workers Bank was the first bank to launch a bank institutionalized partner plan or SUSU plan. And what the bank did is, when you go to, like, you have your family, 10 people, pool their money together, and for 10 weeks, everybody in high school does this. I used to do this in high school. I was even the banker one time because people thought they could trust me with their money. You can still trust me with your money, but I take a 10% commission off of everything. So bear that in mind. 646-772-0771. So what we're doing together now is we're institutionalizing the partner program or the SUSU plan where you're pooling with friends. The problem with those programs is that the people who pool and get their money first, they tend to take off. And if you're last or second to last, you're left with a bag.
Yeah.
You've saved all your money in this pool, and then someone takes it off. And I don't even want to talk about this because recently down in Caicos, Turks and Caicos, one of our friends who actually few days earlier, we were on the boat together. And a couple days later, she got her partner plan and someone decided to envy her for the money and sadly took her out, heavened her too early.
Right.
So it's really still a very volatile situation, not with the money, but the people in the program where, someone could harm you because they want your money or they know when you're getting your money. And so it's like an easy target. So what Workers Bank did was says, okay, let's do it at a bank. Come to the bank.
Right.
And put your money in and nobody's gonna.
You have some measure of security.
And the fee that people were paying to the person who's in charge, like you give them a cut,
banker. Mm-hmm.
The banker at 10%, whatever cut. I don't know. I'm fascinated by 10% of everything. Yeah, like the tithing. Yes, I'm tithing. Everybody, all my listeners, you owe me tithing on the Smart Beat with Charlene. But the bank was paying interest on that money. So instead of you paying out to the banker, here comes the banker giving you a bonus, a Brawta.
Absolutely.
So how does ADULLAM see this taking off? I think this is going to hit. Like people
well, one of the things that we observed is that there are a lot of successful individuals and businesses that have a surplus of profit. They make money, but they don't really need to put that money back into the business, so it's just parked. That is
it's parked in the wrong parking lot.
That's a way of utilizing and leveraging capital that's sitting idle.
Mm-hmm.
So that people can put that, as we say, and pool it and back human ingenuity. That money could then help somebody who wants to start a restaurant. Or recently, we had one of our members who was, I'm talking about down in the dump, and Valentine's Day was coming, and we encouraged her to get up and brush off a talent that she has, which is making flowers out of fabrics. And she calls her business Eternity Roses. And she makes these beautiful roses out of fabrics. What's nice about it, unlike regular roses that will die in a week or two and you have to water it and all of that, these are fabric roses. They stay perfectly for a long time.
And no water.
No, you don't have to water them. And so she brushed off and started making those things and was able to make a really good sum of money with a talent that she already had.
And the thing is, if she only had $500 per se, but she needs to buy a lot of fabrics, she's gonna sell it and earn about $1,000, but she needs to buy these fabrics, and she doesn't have that money. If she's part of a pool with ADULLAM, she could ask.
And that's exactly what we did.
Mm-hmm.
We funded her efforts by giving her the money to buy these ribbons and other fabrics. And you can go to her website, her Facebook page, and it's amazing. Now, she also has another talent, which is making music. So she made music and she put it behind the videos that she made for these flowers, and she was selling them.
Great. We got to support each other. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Charlene live on the radio, live on YouTube, and whatever station you're listening at, you all have a different time that the stations come in with my show.
So we're the smart beat. It's still me, Charlene, whether it's the crypto queen in Salt Lake City on, what was it, 95.9 or 107.9 or 99.1, 88.5 FM, all these stations, wherever you're at. I really appreciate these stations, Karen Marshall, because I try to be entertaining, but letting people know that, especially now that we're going to be launching this new pool in a digital wallet where you can save your own money for your own ideas. And so the difference that we bring to the table with our partnership here with ADULLAM is that you don't have to worry about someone walking off with your money that you contributed to the pool. It's going to be in an escrow account. And let's just say you're saving up and you haven't reached your timeline. Say your timeline is 6 months and you have like death in the family or a medical emergency or some, great deal pops up. You need the money earlier. That's where the pool benefits you. So if someone needs the money 3 months and their plan was for a 6-month savings plan, we can tap into these people who have the extra money. They don't need that money right away, and you can get funded earlier.
So you don't miss opportunities.
So you don't miss opportunities or can fulfill your emergencies. And there's an interest rate. What interest rate is it going?
Well, I mean, some of the similar kinds of programs are anywhere between 10 and 14. And now that is actually higher than traditional bank funding, but a lot of times these people are unable to get.
No, if you go to a payday loan place, it's 300%. So don't apologize for 10 to 14%, because those check cashing places. Those are 500%.
Absolutely.
The cheapest ones are like 150%. So if you borrow $10 or $100, you got to pay them back sometimes $250.
Compounded on a
but you need the money right there.
Absolutely.
So you'll take any interest. When you're in an emergency, interest rate doesn't matter, right? It's
well,
like
we had a client that was in the financial services, and he'd always say, don't worry about what it costs you, only worry about what you make.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you make enough to cover it, the cost doesn't matter.
It's the cost of business.
And if it helps you out in a bind.
Yeah.
So the partner plan, I suggest the name is going to be Brawta. So in Jamaica, Brawta, or the word Brawta, means extra. I give you extra. So if someone buys a dozen oranges, you give them 2 extra. Mm-hmm. That's the Brawta. Or, if you go, you buy some lunch in a lunch box, say, throw another chicken leg in there for me. Right. That's the Brawta. So the Brawta is because we are giving you extra than what you would have gotten with the Susu plan or what you would have gotten with the partner plan, because now you have access to borrow using your own money as collateral, and also to borrow from people who are similar to you that have extra money that they can lend out, but they're afraid, walk up to somebody and say, lend me 10,000.
Right.
But through ADULLAM, because all the members want to help other members. So it's a member, effort. It's the cooperative, and it's the membership advantage of being part of a Brawta plan where people who have extra can help other people. Mm-hmm. And then once you start getting up, like your lady with the fabric flowers, mm-hmm. she can save her money into this Brawta. And then if someone needs to pull money from her pool of money, then they can give her the few interest rate. Because what happens with banks, nobody qualifies. You don't have the right credit score. You've not been in business long enough. Banks, you never know. They don't fund businesses that are under 3 years old.
Well, and not only that, I mean, we've been told by bankers the reason why they don't like to fund a small amount of money. It's not that they don't think that business would be successful and maybe someday grow into a big business. They're like, it takes the same amount of paperwork to fund a small loan that it takes to fund a big loan. Yeah. So they're going after the big money.
Right. They're doing $1 million deals. And then everybody under 10,000 have no
A
chance.
nuisance
A
account.
nuisance,
Yeah.
nuisance, and even there's entities like we're
Microcredit loan.
microloans,
Mhm.
microcredit loans. You know, they talk about sending, $10 to Africa to, that goes a long way. But it's just impractical in America or in the Caribbean for someone to take $10 to build a business.
Right.
You need like $1,000.
Right.
If you're gonna buy and sell clothes at the market or set up a cook stand or whatever, you need a certain amount of money. Like a $5,000 business startup, you're not gonna get that from a bank.
Right.
But you can get it from the Brawta plan.
Right.
Because there's many other members in the Brawta that have 5,000 that we could pull from until you save up the 5,000. You don't have to wait to save it up to start your
It's
business.
available.
You could access that early
Right.
on while you save.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And nobody's else is gonna help you with that. People have bought land, they've built houses, they've started business through partner programs.
Well, in Trinidad, we had about maybe 30 years ago, we had a particular governmental administration who took what is known the SUSU plan, which we just described, which is putting your money in and pooling, and they called it SUSU lands. So they extended that to buying land.
Right.
Same concept, SUSU land. And that became very successful for many people to become landowners, whereas otherwise they wouldn't have been able to own land. And we know how
So
important
any
that
kind of
is.
plan you want to do, whether you want real estate, buying land, getting into your first condo, starting your first laundromat, starting your first wholesale or grocery store, food truck.
Perfect vehicle for those kind of things.
Right. All of these small business. If you want to do like Uber, but you want to own your own car. If you go to a car dealer right now, if you mention you're going to do Uber with the car,
they won't touch you.
They won't touch you. And it shouldn't matter, right? You're going to hustle.
We have a member that was just introduced to us in Houston, Texas. And he was able to, I guess, borrow from family members, and he bought a really nice SUV, and he thought he would do Uber. Come to find out, the return is not good enough.
And the gas guzzling.
Exactly. So now he was talking to us about our technology operation that we could set him up where in Houston, with a very minimal investment and very little tools and very little know-how, he could become one of our technology specialists in Houston.
The main thing about your tech program is not that you're a smart, top-of-the-line, A-lister techie. It's basically the ability to read and follow instructions. If you can follow the instruction manuals, some people just don't want to read the manual of how to set up the TV.
Well, even more importantly than that, every single job that one of our technicians go out, there is somebody in their ear talking to them through the process. So they don't have to know pretty much anything. There's somebody telling you, okay, pull the blue wire, not the red one, just go ahead and pull the blue one. And when you touch on something that is great. Many companies, when they buy technology, they buy a contract. So that they don't have to worry about anything. If it's broken, if whatever, somebody comes out and take care of that because that's the service. Exactly.
Because if you go to Best Buy right now or Costco, they
have the Geek Squad.
They have the Geek Squad or Costco. They say, "Oh, do you want an installer?" So those are what we're talking about. We say tech, but we mean like people who go out and do hands-on, whatever it is, whether it's screwing a light bulb, or whatever it is, through the ADULLAM project. I'm so glad we got to kind of flesh out some of the solutions. Thank you all for tuning in. I forget I'm on radio. I'm just here hanging out with my friend Abdullah about what solutions we have with ADULLAM. But here is the meat and potatoes of radio. You're listening in your car, you hear something, but you can't remember how, and then one day how it benefits your life, and then one day you're talking with your family and you're like, you know what? You guys want to start a partner plan? You guys want to start a SUSU plan? why don't you get into the Brawta plan that Charlene was talking about on the Smart Beat, where you pool your own money, but you have access to everybody
Cool.
else's
Yes. Mhm.
in the pool, and it's outside the banking, and it's literally based on your if you have a good business plan and you show that you want to contribute to this partner idea, you want to be part of the Brawta, because you don't have enough of your own money right now, but we can see that what you're planning to do
Well,
is going to bring that money in.
Well, one of the workshops that we have in the calendar is a startup weekend, where people with an idea could show up on Friday, and by the time they leave on Monday, through a boot camp process, they're ready to go. They've got all of the information.
It's like the World War III. Friday they launch, and by Sunday night the war's over.
Exactly.
Oh my good Lord. 646-772-0771. Text, call. Now, I started off with Captain Robo and the Kekas Lifestyle Yacht Charter. When you book through my show, the Smart Beat, I get a cut of that commission. I'm like a radio concierge.
Right.
And so, it's my little hustle. And if you book with Turk's Tours and you mentioned Charlene, I'm gonna start hounding them down for my commissions. And the Grand Slam. So the Grand Slam, that's for the people who want to go fishing in the Caribbean. And then if you want to get into the ADULLAM Justice Project, the minimum is $90 membership a year. Hey, give your best pitch on that.
Works up to 25 cents a day.
25 cents a day. So even if you're short on cash, you can probably bump 25 cents. That's what you say. But in all seriousness, being a member of ADULLAM gives you access to resources, whether it's lay ministry. We're not lawyers,
No.
right? But we help you navigate.
The term is layman lawyers.
Layman lawyers. Neighbor helping neighbors. So the ADULLAM Justice, and wherever you are in the country. So your headquarters in Salt Lake City.
But we have members all over the world. We have one of our members who was deported from the United States back to her native India, where she didn't grow up. I mean, she was born in India, but grew up in Dubai. And through some unfortunate circumstances, she spent 6 months in ICE detention center in Tacoma, Washington, which was a hellacious experience. And then they deported her to India. As she reports it,
she doesn't know anybody in India.
Well, but she's in Goa, which, as she describes it, is the Las Vegas of India. Yeah. So now we're working on how do we get her to bounce properly. Mm. She has a laptop, she has a phone, and she's ready to go.
She's ready to go. Well, maybe she can. We can help her through the Brawta program, right. And people can choose. Other members in the program, in the Brawta, can choose who or which projects or which individuals.
Human ingenuity, because there's so many people with good ideas, but for the lack of funding, those ideas never come off the bottom.
And they don't need a lot of money.
Exactly.
And so we're not talking about $1 million deals here, but thank you all for tuning in. This is Charlene live on the radio. I'm looking at the YouTube thing to see how much time we've gone. Usually I have my producer,
right,
or a radio holding up the charge, but we're just winging it today. So thank you for tuning in. The Smart Beat with Charlene, whatever station you're listening to, make sure you keep that dial set right there. And hail up to everybody in Turks and Caicos Islands, everybody in Jamaica, Wagwan, big up yourself. And those in Dallas, Texas, right here in Salt Lake City. I am back with the Bitcoin Convention and the International Film Festival, March 25th to 29th, right here in the city of Murray, in the Square. And we are looking forward to see you also on the 20th of March for the AI vibe writing. We're going to be vibing with AI. on how to find funding for all of your nonprofits. That's a $90 workshop, but it's a $900 workshop.
Value.
You know, when you these big workshops, or these, what they call them, these like the Tony Robbins and this, all these major speakers, right? It's $10,000 to go and hear the secret sauces,
Right.
but you can spend that $90 with ADULLAM. You're bringing in the same level of experts.
Absolutely. Our expert on the funding is Dr. Greg Miller, who actually
He's got a track record of bringing in the
tens
dough.
Tens of millions.
Tens of millions, yeah. For small individuals and small nonprofits. So you want to be, and you're going to be sending out invitations to the local Chamber of Commerce.
To the Chambers of Commerce and through the various networks where people would, there's most likely going to be an Eventbrite and other kinds of portals where people can get the information to register.
Yeah, so you guys, this is a lot packed in. Even if you're not in the States and you have friends, everybody has friends in the States, you want to tell them about the Smart Beat next time on your local station. This is Charlene. Give a good farewell to our listeners.
It's been wonderful to be on with you, Charlene, and I know we'll be doing this
weekly.
So stay tuned.
All right, you heard it right here. Now text if you want to participate, if you know somebody with a solution, you want to get them in on the show so they can talk about it and clip it later. The number is 646-772-0771. This is Charlene live with the Beat, the Smart Beat.
So that's a Google tool.
That's the